Hi guys, and welcome to All Things Korean. This video is going to be an introduction to Korean verbs. So if you're a beginner and you're just starting out in learning Korean and you haven't learned how to conjugate verbs yet, then this video is for you. If you already learned how to conjugate verbs and you just want to refresh your memory, then please keep watching as well. So today I'm going to share with you 3 fundamental facts about Korean verbs. So these are the things that you need to know about Korean verbs before you go about conjugating. So hopefully by the time you're done watching this video and understand everything in it, you'll have a good foundation to start learning conjugation. Let's not waste any more time and just get started with number 1. So number 1 is that every sentence in Korean must have either a verb or an adjective. And when I'm talking about adjective, I'm talking about descriptive verbs. So every sentence must have an action verb or a descriptive verb. Now, before I go on to explaining the two, let's just take a step back and look at English first, and then we will compare the English to the Korean to help you understand better. Now, in English, or in any language for that matter, a complete sentence must always have a subject and a predicate. So the subject is what the sentence is about, and the predicate gives information on the subject. For today, we're not going to look at the subject, we're just going to talk about the predicate. Now, in English sentences, the predicate must always contain a verb. We're going to look at 2 examples today. The first example is he drank water. So you probably know already that the verb in this sentence is drank. It's the action of drinking. This would be an example of an action verb. Let's look at the second example. I am pretty. Now, pretty is not an action verb. It's not a verb at all. In English, it's what we call an adjective. It's a word that we use to modify or describe the noun. Not what the noun is doing, but something that describes the noun, pretty. But pretty is not a verb. What is the verb? It's am. So in English, you need some sort of linking verb, like the verb be, or its many forms such as is, am, are, were, etc. You need some sort of linking verb because the predicate must have some sort of verb. Now that we have these 2 examples out of the way, let's compare it to Korean. So in Korean, it's a similar yet different concept. We're going to start by comparing the second example. I am pretty. In Korean, it's 나는 예쁘다. Now, 예쁘다 means to be pretty. So in this case, it translates to am pretty. The thing about Korean is you don't need an extra verb like you do in English because in Korean, this adjective acts as a verb. It's written in verb form. This makes it a descriptive verb. It's a verb that provides information on the state or the description of the noun, right? So 예쁘다, to be pretty, is not describing what I am doing. It describes what I am. The verb be in English is kind of imbued into the meaning of 예쁘다. Now, as I mentioned before, you have a descriptive verb, and then the opposite of that is what you would call an action verb. This is just, the verb as you know it, describing some sort of action, like the first example. He drank water. So in Korean, it would be 그는 물을 마셨다. 마셨다 means drank. 마시다 is the action verb that means to drink. Now, you might have noticed that in the sentence I said 마셨다, but when I explained the meaning of the word to drink, I said 마시다. There was a bit of a difference. And this brings us to number 2 of this video. So the number 2 fact of today is that in Korean, all verbs, both action and descriptive verbs, have something that is called a dictionary form. So when you come across a verb and you look it up in the dictionary, it will always have a consistent form. It will always be in simple present tense and end with 다. Every verb, whether it's action or descriptive, is listed in the dictionary in this way. That's why it's called the dictionary form. So it's just the most basic form of the word. And this is the form that we use when we're introducing a new word or like explaining the meaning of a verb or an adjective. Of course, this dictionary form will take on a new form once it's conjugated. But when the subject is that word itself, then most of the time we refer to it in the dictionary form. Okay, and number 3 of today's video is that every verb has a verb stem. The verb stem is the essence of the verb. It's the smallest unit that holds that unique verb meaning. And to get to the verb stem is pretty simple. All you need to do is take the dictionary form and remove the 다. Like the verb 마시다, 마시 would be the verb stem. For a descriptive verb like 예쁘다, 예쁘 would be the verb stem. So to combine what I said in number 2 and number 3, in order to conjugate a verb, you start off with the dictionary form, then you remove the 다 to get to the verb stem. Then you take the verb stem and you add other things, you add other endings to conjugate the verb. And that's it for today's video. 3 basic facts that you need to know about Korean verbs in order to conjugate them. Now that you have this foundation under your belt, you can go about conjugating verbs into past tense, present tense, you can ask questions, and just use them in a bunch of different situations. The reason I made this video today is because now I want to start on making different videos on verb conjugation, and I'll have to be mentioning action verbs and descriptive verbs and verb stem and whatnot a lot. And if anyone comes across that video first and feels a bit lost or a little bit confused, they can always refer back to this video. So this is the end of the video, and if you stuck around till the end and care enough to watch all of this, I just wanted to share with you that I'm on my final semester. I have been taking online university courses to get my degree in teaching Korean as a foreign language. And once I'm done with this semester and I graduate, I hope I'll be able to focus a bit more on making Korean videos for you guys. I know I've taken a pretty long break, but I'll try to be more consistent in 2021. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to All Things Korean for more Korean language related content. You can also check out my vlog channel, which I'll link down in the description. And I'll see you in the next video. 다음 영상에서 만나요.